Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stars and Stripes Cup Series. It's race number 7 of Season 4 here tonight at Chicagoland, the mile-and-a-half track, very similar to Kansas and other mile-and-a-half courses, progressive banking, but in the first couple of laps, it's going to be full throttle, crazy action. We've seen it a ton already this season, and we're expecting it to continue on. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is going to be Zach Hall. Robert Morgan's running productions here tonight. Zach, last week, drama-filled at Kentucky. Got to see Andrew Medlin finally get a win. But here tonight, it is going to be at Chicagoland. They're under the baking sun. This track's going to be a little bit warmer, a little bit slicker, and it should be a fun one here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun race here tonight for race number 7 at the Chicagoland Speedway. One of my favorite tracks here, and definitely under the sunlight here. This is a track that, can really eat the tires up, make the grooves really move around. So that's one thing I think we'll have to watch out for sure. You brought up Kentucky last week. What a race that was. Andrew Medlin breaking into the victory lane there. But we've seen 7 different leaders. That was the big thing I think I seen for this, for last week's race is really, the lead was changing hands a lot of times there. You had Christopher Wade lead most of the laps of the race. He ends up finishing in the 12th position. You had Cameron Starks in there. He led 40 laps in that race. He finishes back in 6th. So really, the guys who really led the most laps in that race got caught up, didn't get on the right strategy like Andrew Medlin and the rest of the group that was on. So, man, it shows you just because you dominate races here doesn't mean you can, go and finish it there at the end. You got to have a perfect strategy and a perfect day if you want to bring it home in victory lane like Andrew Medlin.
That's the one thing that we always enjoy about it is that the strategy calls that these drivers are going to make. The schemes that you're seeing on stream right now are coming in. So if the schemes do not look right now, we are trying to load them in. So if there's anyone in chat that's wondering why isn't the scheme right, we are trying to get that situation fixed currently. So we're going to be seeing some drivers in pure white before their car gets loaded. Some will get loaded later on. So just know that we are getting this fixed before the racing action starts. But Zach, we're right around time for qualifying. We've talked about the strategy calls are going to have to be made. This track that is, I enjoy it as well, racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. But what are the drivers expecting to see, especially for qualifying? How important is qualifying going to be here tonight?
Well, it's really going to depend how important this qualifying is. Last week at Kentucky, we did see a good portion of passing, but it's always critical to be out front. And it really is going to depend on how much the grooves are compared to each other. If that outside line is working really well, I think we'll see 2x2 racing, and qualifying won't matter as much. But even in 2x2 racing, that can become a traffic jam. The farther you start up there, the easier it is to get to that front, and it's the easier it is to stay up there. So this qualifying will be important. I think most drivers are going to stick right to the bottom right here, try to run their fastest laps, probably wide open also, hopefully keeping those accelerator pedals to the floor while they have the grip here on the newer set of tires. It's going to be wild once we get started. But like I said, it'll just matter to see which lines are moving. If both lines are moving, we could see a very wild race. If that bottom becomes dominant, though, being out front qualifying here could be the big factor. I mean, we've seen it in Atlanta with Ken Campbell earlier in the season. That's really what he did. Start up front, stay out front. We may see that be a possibility here tonight with it really hot in the sunlight.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing a little bit of a smaller field than what we've seen for most of the season. But seeing a transition of drivers loving this car as we are running the Gen 6 Cup car, and other drivers kind of transitioning to other vehicles. But here tonight, a smaller field than usual, looking to be about 30, a little bit less than 30 actually, currently for qualifying. So we'll see if anyone joins during qualifying, as this is going to be the last opportunity for these drivers. As time's getting set, as you see, the 44 of Kyle Bowling's going to be putting himself top of the board with a 30.7. But immediately, as I say that, Derek Offerman and others now swapping as they're coming in and trickling in with these times. Qualifying's all about yourself, building up that momentum. We've talked about it a lot throughout this season. As we're seeing drivers putting down their second time. Here comes the 44 again. Kyle Bowling, who almost had an opportunity to get a win last week, was trying to go for his first win here for season 4, but it's going to be third currently on the board. It's a big surprise, though. The 209, Travis Dart, top of the board currently.
Yeah, Travis Dart, great lap there to jump up top there to 30, 37, and that's by a good margin. I mean, the next, 5 positions are closer than what it is from him to first to second. There's Mike Lynch also jumps down into the 30-39s there. As man, what laps are being put down as a few drivers still left to go, about 10 on at least hand here still to put laps down as the board continues to be filled up by new drivers. Timmy McNally, I mean, Nate Lynch, we've seen third there. He was the pole setter at Atlanta, so not surprised to see him qualifying well here at a similar racetrack.
No, not at all. And we're still waiting on a lot of heavy hitter fast drivers. Dylan Grimm, as well as Trey Jackson. Andrew Medlin, winner from last week, still hasn't put down a time. So a lot of quick drivers. We're still waiting to see when and what if times are going to put down, because like I noted on, momentum seems to be the key as we see the 46 of Jason Gratton, who's going to be coming across the line. Put the 46's time on the board. And for that of Gratton, going to be trying to move up and will move up, but only up to 16th for himself. As right now, it is still Travis Dart, the 209, top of the board. Kyle McCoy second, Lynch in third. Still a couple of other drivers to watch out for as we're seeing more drivers coming in, just less than a handful to finish out qualifying as there's a minute and a half left here in qualifying. Zach, it seems to be, based on how close these times are, it's that full throttle aspect of drivers really just needing to carry that momentum, kind of similar to when we go to super speedway racing.
Oh, very, very similar. You know, even that first lap, you give it up to build the momentum, run all the way against the wall, to have the longest way around. That second lap will be better, just do that momentum being built up and being able to run full throttle here as we ride on board with Dart here in the 66 machine. You can just see the grip level they have is very, very high there. Andrew Mellon, last week's winner, he hops up to 8th on the board there as we speak. Man, just really close times, and like you said, it really comes down to it being wide open here. So expect these drivers to, in the first, I'd say 10 laps before the tires really start to get worn out, to be making pretty crazy moves with how much grip they're going to have here tonight. And look at Kyle McCoy on his return, also there up to second. We'll see if he can carry that momentum from a win 2 weeks ago, just having to miss out last week. Is there's our last week's winner there, Medlin, who broke it.
Andrew Medlin kind of just coasting after he's finished up his time. Drivers have finished up on qualifying, less than 25 seconds to go in the queue. The drivers that are on track kind of just getting a sense in a little bit more track time if those didn't feel that comfortable during practice. But Zach, I gotta say, this is probably the most surprising one of our qualifying attempts here with Travis Dart, top of the board. I mean, he's had a great qualifying runs this season, but with his best one so far, getting the pole position is the 209 as qualifying's come to a close. You see the 20 get knocked off track. That means it is time for us to get gridded up and ready for racing action here tonight. Chicagoland Speedway, race number 7 of the season here for the Stars and Stripes Cup Series. And for these drivers, going to be running 133 laps, no fast repair, 3 sets of tires in pit road. And Zach, you and I were kind of talking about it, expecting this race to be a 2-stop race as we take a look at our starting grid. Pole position goes to that of Travis Dart. Kyle McCoy going to get second place with Mike Lynch in third. Cameron Sarton's going to be starting in fourth place with that of Nate Lynch in fifth. Timmy McNally, Chris Sessery, Andrew Medlin, that of Christopher Wade, and Andrew Hale going to be, that of Aaron Hale, going to be finishing out your top 10.
In the 11th position, it's going to be Kyle Bowling in the 44 machine. 12th is going to go to Derek Offerman. 13th place is going to be John Dart. 14th is going to go to Trey Jackson in the 31. Our points leader, Scott Ricker, going to be starting back here in the 15th position. 16th is going to be Brian Burchett in the 33 machine. 15th for Brian Burchett. 17th going to go to Doug Pierce there in the 39. 18th is Steven Anderson in the 99 machine. 19th is going to go to Jason Gratton. And rounding out that top 20 is Max Warden.
In 21st, a big surprise, all the way back to 21st position, going to be that of Travis Butt, as well as Patrick Hasty in 22nd. Adam Sidlow, going to be in 23rd, with that of George Kovacic in 24th, Brian Lynch, Dylan Grimm, Brett Somers, as well as going to be seeing Brian Chu if he decides to get in. Race control going to be the 499 of that of Randy Cornwell, and we'll see how Cornwell is able to control these drivers, as Brian Chu has not put down a time yet for practice nor for qualifying, so I don't know if the 11's going to be hitting the course here tonight. So the potential of either 28 or 27 drivers going to be racing here tonight here at Chicagoland Speedway. And Zach, we were talking about it before we went live on the broadcast. This beginning portions, when these drivers are on fresh tires, this is when chaotic and really everything hits the fan. It gets such madness runs. These drivers are we're expecting to make some crazy moves here early on.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of passes going on here early and a lot of moves, like you said, and aggressive ones. If you're going to get stuff done, the best time to do it, they know, is right at the beginning of these restarts when the tires are their freshest. Once the tires start to even out, you get a little wear, you're going to see a little bit more single file action. You'll see moves being made one at a time, not 2 to 3 at a time, where here tonight, once we get this green flag, there's going to be drivers in the middle lane. There's going to be drivers up against the wall. There's going to be drivers right against that bottom white line. And it's going to be pretty much mayhem there for the first, I'd say, opening 10 laps. Then the tire wear should start to kick in. We'll see them spread out, and it's just one of those things. And then you never know, we get a caution, they'll bring them right back in for that accordion effect, man. And it's going to be a special one here tonight, man. There's a lot of heavy hitters in the field, of course, and a lot of drivers trying to break through here and and some drivers also trying to carry momentum.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of drivers that are still looking for rebounds for really poor starts to their season. You look at Jason Gratton, Travis Butt, they're outside looking in to be in our top positions to go into playoffs. So drivers need to start having their rebound now, especially because this is race number 7. We're hitting halfway of the regular season, so you need to start hitting your momentum now. And for the drivers up front, they're getting ready to go. Pace car is off, and it's time to go racing here for 133 laps at Chicagoland Speedway. We are green, and it's going to be Travis Dart and that of Kyle McCoy side by side, heading down into turn number 1 as there's a single file already, but it's that battle for third as they still stay side by side for 1 and 2.
13 of Cameron starts in there leading that outside lane is now McCoy. He's not giving up. Oh, it's Mike Lynch. Major moment for him. He's down in the grass here on the back straightaway. He gets a little bit loose from the corner tires. Moves being made all around the track. Tim Manali diving to the bottom here for third.
It's going to be a major mistake for the 2, but luckily did not get into the wall. He's still going to be able to continue to race on. Up front, Kyle McCoy taking the lead. Tim Manali going to be following suit. But it's everyone trying to utilize the draft to their best abilities. But the 88 and the 7 do a great job to hold on, going through turns 1 and 2. Out of 2, it looks like Kyle McCoy, he's found that comfortable spot already as the tires are still starting to heat up.
Starting to heat up. They are here, same as they work down the back straightaway. Big run for our pole starter, the 209 of Travis Dart. He has lost the clean here early in the going to slide up to that third lane, and you're already seeing multiple grooves here. And this, like we said, new tires here is the time to go. Andrew Mellon, our winner from Kentucky, he knows how important it is to get up front. He got up front, never looked back there at Kentucky once he got the lead. He's charging up through here from that 8th starting spot.
And you got to be feeling that comfortable and confidence. 3 wide for third place. It's going to be Emmett Medlin stuck in the middle with that of Sartin and McNally still side by side coming through 3. It's still going to be the 12 stuck in the sucker hole, and they continue to stay side by side. Zach, this side drafting is just keeping these drivers connected, and there's still 3 wide coming out of 4.
This is great racing. We're seeing side drafting, definitely not letting them get away from each other as Aaron Hill working the outside in the Ford machine. Almost close contact between him and Andrew Medlin. That was so close as they continue to run 3 wide. Medlin getting a little tight here off of 2. They continue to keep it straight, though. Somehow, no contact has been made.
This is fabulous racing to be watching, but you got to feel for the 88 and the 12. They continue to fall back. It's that outside line. The runs that they're getting, they continue to hold on. Medlin, a little bit of a dash and a little bit of contact. Watch out for Wade trying to get by the 88, and somehow, as you're right on board with that of Wade, you can see he had to lock up just a little bit to make sure he didn't make contact, but now it's going to be Timmy McNally who needs to be finding himself a spot, and it was early going here, Zach. We knew it was going to be chaotic. Certainly it was. There should have been a big one, but everyone holds on.
Just great driving from these drivers, showing the aggression they can show and give to each other and still keep it straight on the racetrack. What a show they've done so far as they're riding on board with the 25 machine of Nate Lynch here. He's qualified in that 5th position. He got really swamped there early in the going as we've had Scott Rickard. I mean, he's moved from 15th to 7th. Kyle Bolin 11th to 8th. There's a lot of drivers making big moves. Travis Butt 21st to 13th. I mean, everybody using advantage of these new tires, and it shows they're starting to learn the C car. That B car that we ran last season, the Xfinity car, you would want to work your way into a run, save your tires, not really drive as hard as you possibly could at the beginning of the run. These cars, you want to get everything out of them as early as possible so you have the best track position and the best air on that nose for late.
Yeah, you talked about, the Xfinity car last season. This racetrack, Chicagoland Speedway, was not utilized for last season. It was utilized for season 1 and 2. When season 1 racing in the ARCA car, it was that of Kyle McCoy that found victory lane. Season 2 in the truck series, when they were running that, was Scott Rickard that found his way into victory lane. So right now, starting to see some of those heavy favorites moving up into the top 10 that previously won, is Kyle McCoy leading currently. Got back in 7th, but as we're looking at Travis Butt, one of our bigger movers so far tonight in just the first 8 laps. It's one of those things where the draft is so important, but has the 00. I know he's still technically in the draft here, Zach, but it's just 6/10 seems so far away when you look at the distance when that's about 6, 7, 8 car lengths ahead of the 00 to the 25.
Yeah, I would be worried if this track was a little bit more grippy. This place, it really does tend to have a lot of fall off here. So I think he should be all right, even if he has good pace to be able to claw his way up here. But definitely, when you have the draft, you're going to be able to make more pace. So you want to be able to be as close as possible. I think he's working his way closer as he's now gotten pretty close to Timmy McNally in the 88 machine is the field up here. It's continued to single file just a little bit. We have a little bit of side-by-side racing there. Behind that with Scott Rickard there. In the 05, he's got Kyle Bowling. In the 44, racing back there with Christopher Wade and Jason Gratton. So a lot of still side-by-side racing going on, but it's starting to even out now. So like we said, we got today's 10 laps. Tires are starting to feel the wear, and you can't race as much side-by-side here and make as many big moves. But Andrew Mellon, he says, nonsense. I'm trying to go to the outside as he gets a little bit tight there, has to back out of it.
I mean, trying to make these big moves, you see that of the 05, Scott Rickard trying to make the move on the inside. And for Scott, now up to 6th, biggest mover, tied with that of Jason Gratton, who's back in 9th place. Both have moved up 10 positions from where they qualified. So doing a great job currently for both these drivers. But I think the biggest surprise of looking at our top 10 has to be the 4 of Aaron Hale. One mainly known for qualifying back in 15th, back to 20th at most racetracks, and then marches his way up into the top 10. Zach, this is great to see from the 4. Have a great qualifying run, placing himself up front. This could be a sign to watch out for the 4 later on here tonight.
No, this could definitely be a big moment for him. If he can continue his march like he does late into races, well, he might march his way into victory lane from that 7th spot here if he continues to move forward. But definitely a great battle here is Jason Gratton there up from that 19th position. He's working his way now into 8th. He's battling our points leader, Scott Rickard, in the 05 code. Behind here is Nate Lynch, also in the bottom lane at the 25, along with Travis Butt, who's drove his way up into this front pack here of 14 cars.
You can see the 12, just no draft help on the inside, and everyone's trying to make the push on the straightaways. It's on the entry of the corner where the 12 can find a little bit more space, but immediately when you hit the straightaway here, Zach, you can just see the run that outside lane gets. All that momentum back to the throttle and the draft as the 12 gets loose onto the inside behind Gratton, and it could be bringing out the big one. The 12 into the wall, gets connected with the 44. Issues already in this lead pack, and Zach, these drivers have no fast repair. That's some damage they have to worry about all night long now.
Major damage for last week's winner here, Andrew Medlin, and that was just, a major moment there. And what happened right there was a little contact between him and Jason Gratton there. Like you said, Sam, it shot him down onto that apron. He tried to, gather it all back up onto the corner there, but him and Scott Rickard come into contact. Nate Lynch catches a little bit of that, and also Kyle Bowling, who tried to do his best to slow up. Looks like he caught just a teeny bit of that too.
Got a little bit of front-end damage for that of the 44, but should be able to continue to race on. Back in 13th position. You see these drivers that are racing here. This is the 25, Nate Lynch, John Dart, Scott Rickard, that are racing in this pack. You can see the 20 also starting to fall back, and also the driver that had the first major mistake of the night, the 2, Mike Lynch, now in 16th position. When he fell all the way back to 23rd, he's done a decent job rebounding from that early mistake, but you can see major rear end damage to the 20 as he's trying to just limp this car until we come to pit road.
Oh no, that's unfortunate for Derek Hoffman there, the 20 machine. That's not what he wants to see early in this race. And even our points leader, who was caught up in that, Scott Rickard, major right side damage on that car and left side damage. He's going to have a tough day getting that thing fixed up. It's just going to have to be a solid points day for him and try to rebound. But man, this just shows you early to go and no fast repair. You're never safe here, and this style of racing, right on top of your competition. You get a little bit of damage, you're in trouble for sure.
Yeah, when you saw the 17 trying to duck low, try to get an aggressive kind of slide job move, but it's so difficult to make any types of passes. Zach, you've ran in these Cup cars and we see you running them here on Freaky Fast on Saturdays. How difficult is it once we get this late into a run to even try to make a pass on the straightaway when you don't have any drafting help at all in front of you or behind you.
Well, Sam, it's one of the actual more hard things is I believe we jump here on board here and look with Brett Sowers. We'll see how he's going to try to work over Mike Lynch. Kind of take you from my perspective here, riding on board with him. It's so tough to make the pass work without the draft. You got a car in front of Mike Lynch here who's giving him that draft. If Brett Somers goes to that inside lane, that car up high still gives the draft on the straightaway to Mike Lynch. So Brett Somers has to make really sure that through the corners, he's making up that speed. If you're not clearing someone on that bottom lane, a lot of times you're going backwards just due to the fact the way everybody on the straightaway, we all drift up towards the wall. That's the racing line on these tracks, so most people are going to run up there. That's where the draft is going to be. There's going to be a lot more turbulent air, a lot more free air for these cars to break through and, you know, create less drag on these race cars. When you're down low by yourself, nobody's really running there. It's a huge issue, and the only thing you can hope for is that driver above you really struggles in the corner, and you're able to clear there and slide up in front of them and continue your way on. Because if when you get side by side on the straightaways, that side draft can pull you right back, and it's really tough to get away from your competition. It's almost sometimes super frustrating when you know you're a tenth or so faster, but you almost have to be 2/10 faster to make that pass.
Also, I gotta love, thank you to Robert Moyer and the Gold Tire team getting us these side-by-sides of seeing the drivers in real life and seeing their cars on track. And, you know, we always find small little things when we look at those side-by-sides, you know, the communication, how focused are the drivers, what are they seeing on their screens with some drivers having triple monitors. You know, something I never noticed, but we were seeing there from Brett. He was, you know, holding the steering wheel in certain styles. I know some drivers love, you know, holding a steering wheel just on both sides. Some go with the 10 and 2. But there's some drivers that feel so comfortable and confident. I've seen pro drivers do it sometimes. I think of Malik Ray, who was formerly in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series. Some drivers like to drive with just one hand. It's always interesting to see, you know, all the different styles that drivers feel comfortable on how they have to hold their steering wheel attacking these courses.
That's actually a really good point, Sam. I always love that interesting talk with the driver, you know, asking them, you know, how do you steer the steering wheel? You know, we all have different ways. You know, some guys are a little bit more left hand dominant. That means they're going to pull on the steering wheel when they're turning left for here the oval, so they're pulling down. Other guys are a little more right hand dominant when they're pushing up the steering wheel. So it always, you know, it's always interesting to say, what do you do when you're driving? Some drivers don't even think about that. So, you know, it shows you what you can do when you're on the sim. You can really break down your driving style. And
oh boy,
he's an old man up here. We got crazy action, Christopher Wade.
It's going to be Wade and Travis Darr making contact with one another coming out of the exit of turn number 2. Luckily, both did not get into the outside wall, but that is going to be bogging down this front group. Now going to have Aaron Hale moving up to third. Wade's able to rebound, but that could have been disastrous for this front pack. It would have, once again, Kyle McCoy so far ahead. Same for Sarton. They don't have to worry about this pack, but this is third all the way back to 9th place. This small little pack that could have been so disastrous, but you got to be worrying about for the 53 and the 209, how much of that little bit of a door slap on one another going to be hurting them on the long run.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at these race cars, trying to figure out how much damage. It looks like Christopher Wade, not much on the right side for him, but actually Travis Darr catching a little bit on the left side. So looks like he got the worst end of the deal there in the 209 machine. We had a great qualifying here tonight, sitting that thing on pole. Is right now he's battling with Travis Butt here, trying to hold on to that top 5 spot.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about great movers. Grattan was up there. We also were talking at one point of seeing how well Medlin was moving up and Scott Ricker before they got themselves in trouble. Right now, currently our biggest movers of the night, drivers in 6th and 7th. That's Travis Button in the 00, currently in 6th place. And as well, the 46 of Jason Grattan, 2 of our biggest movers, but up 15 positions, Grattan up 11.
And while we're watching this group here do battle, you can see up there the 2 cars up ahead. Those are the 2 that have broken away from this field. That's Kyle McCoy and Cameron Sarton. And man, I tell you what, you know, Kyle McCoy, we've seen him break through already at Pocono this season. That was a major breakthrough for him as, you know, coming in as the defending series champion with the Xfinity car last season. Didn't have the greatest start. Now he was able to put that win behind him here coming into Chicagoland, already carrying that momentum. But I tell you what, the 13 behind him, Sam, that's the one that he's the kind of the driver that stuck out to me this season that hasn't got the results that probably with the speed he's shown. He's got one top 5 to his name in that 13 of Cameron or in the 13, yeah, Cameron Starkton there. That's, kind of mind blowing with how well he's looked this season. I would expect for him to possibly put that thing in victory lane at some point this season, just with the pace he's had. He's closed down a little bit here on Kyle McCoy. We'll see what he can do as he gets in the dirty air here, as he closes into that turbulent air behind the 7. But man, what a run it's been for him so far. I expect some big stuff from him this season, though.
Absolutely. I mean, Kyle McCoy, our season 1 and also season 3 champion of the Stars and Stripes, trying to become the first 3-time winner for this of currently season 4 as they pass by the 12 of Andrew Medlin. Medlin currently now going to be 2 laps down, back in 27th position as Sartin closes in the gap. But yeah, like you noted on, those stats from the 13, like you note on, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. You thought that he would have a lot more, and that's kind of been the trend of a lot of these rookies that came into this season. You think of Filano, Sacchetti, those drivers all have shown some speed to be upfront competitive at times, but it's been the consistency at the end of the races, being caught up in someone else's wreck or even making their own mistakes that have cost them greatly. I think that's where we start to see that major difference of drivers that are, been in this series, know how to react and race with the drivers around them because they've been veterans that have raced for anywhere from 2 to 3 seasons with these drivers, and the rookies that come in that are still trying to adapt to the different driving styles that are around them.
It's always a learning point at a league, man. You go through a phase, definitely, that you're learning the drivers around you. Everybody has a certain style. Everybody has a certain way of doing it. You're looking at Chris Essery and Travis Butt there battle off of turn 2, and a certain etiquette and way they drive. One driver's going to stick it in, from 3 cars back. One driver's not going to do that. Another driver will back out of certain situations. So you get to learn your competition. That's the beauty of league racing the same guys throughout each and every week. And that's what you got to learn, though, is a newcomer here into this league. They're just got to learn the veterans here, the guys that have been doing it for a while. So it's a filling out process at the beginning as we're watching Butt continue his charge forward. He's trying to break it to the top 5 there with Travis Dart. But man, it's always an interesting fact to see how people mesh together.
Certainly is, as we're watching the battle for 5th place. That's going to be Travis Butt trying to move past our pole sitter of Travis Dart. And Dart, I got to give credit. Yes, he got the pole position, but I think that's been kind of the trend of the drivers that get the pole position. They seem to struggle and fall off once we go green. They've got a lot of that qualifying speed, but the race pace and staying consistent and having the long run pace, that's where the transition really has been. The only driver that has qualified well and then finished well was actually Kyle McCoy, our driver that's up front leading this thing with his 1 win this season, with getting the win at Pocono. He also got the pole position there, only pole position for Kyle McCoy. So, with the drivers that get the pole position, we know they want to be up front, but big credit to Travis Dart for at least staying currently in the top 10, because we've seen a lot of these drivers struggle to stay up front once they get the pole position.
Yeah, it sometimes is like a curse, man. You don't want to be too fast sometimes, for sure. And with this package here, it can come down to a gust of the wind sometimes for a pole position. You get a gust at a certain time where you're coming off a corner, and it'll help you a little bit out. You never know. So great job by Travis, though, showing that he's got the race pace to stay up here and battle with all these drivers around him.
Continuing to stay up front. And, Chicagoland, one of the races that we could see at nighttime or at daytime, and those are major factors to worry about for these drivers, as we're seeing the battling that's currently going on back for that of Steam for 13th and also 14th position of the 44, Kyle Bowling, as well as Mike Lynch. Lynch, again, recovering quite well after his lap 1 going through the grass. But something that we brushed on just slightly, but we never truly looked at it. That's going to be the track temperature and the heat that these drivers are dealing with. It is a scorcher out there, Zach, as the driver is currently dealing with, ambient temperature just being 70 degrees, but the track temp, 114 Fahrenheit for these drivers. It's hot, it's slick. These drivers have a lot to handle coming in, but the wind, not too bad, only 1 to 2 miles per hour. It's just fluctuating very slightly, but it's that track temp that the drivers are dealing with a lot here tonight.
Yeah, that track temp is really playing out to see the racing that we're seeing. We're seeing it more spread out, really where the drivers are starting to have to really fight these race cars, man. That you can see this surface. It's one of the oldest surfaces in the circuit. It's very light colored. It's very, very old. And when it gets hot, it definitely gets very, very slick. It eats the tires off mostly too. The tire wear here for these guys is going to be very, very extreme and hard for them to keep up. I expect, though, these pit stops, though, man, they're definitely nearing a point where they're going to decide here to pit very, very soon to try to split this race up into thirds.
Right now, the drivers are dealing with a little bit over a second and a half difference from their best lap time to the lap that they just previously put down. So that means the drivers are kind of starting to feel that wear and tear, like you said, Zach. We were thinking 2 stops for these drivers here tonight, which means they're going to be trying to push it out to lap 45 to possibly even longer than that to lap 50. So around this range, we're expecting the drivers to start to have those thoughts. When do I want to come in? If I want to come in, the only driver that's come to pit road currently so far here tonight was Andrew Medlin after getting into the outside wall and having his issues in the early going. And the only driver a lap down as he's 2 laps down. 26 drivers still out on track as we are on lap 37. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. Robert Moyer running productions here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you for joining us here for Thursday night racing action. And for all the drivers at the Stars and Stripes Cup Series, thank you for joining us. As up front, still Kyle McCoy, Cameron Sargent, Travis Butt, Christopher Wade, Aaron Hale going to be your top 5 currently as we're watching the battling that's going on currently between that of Grimm and also the 2 of that of Mike Lynch. And this is the battle for 11th place, where Dylan Grimm, like I noted on, expected to have a good qualifying run, did not qualify well for the 23, started all the way back in 26th position and up 15 spots in 11th.
They've been driving his way forward, a really, really big mover, but the biggest mover of them all, it's got to be Travis Butt there. He's worked his way up to that 3rd position now. It was Aaron Hell's spot up in that 3rd spot there for moments, but Travis Butt was able to work his way forward, and Hell now starting to go backwards in the 4 machine after running in that 4th position. Looks like Grattan going to try to go around his outside to try to take that 6th spot there and move from 19th to 6th for Grattan. What a drive for him. McNally also there in the 88. Man, really great drives for these drivers around this 5th position.
5th position, great battling that's going on, as well as the battling we're seeing on screen for 11th. And for a lot of these drivers, they're trying to pick and choose. Anyone that's saved their tires for this long run, they've got to make these passes now, as we have not seen a yellow yet here tonight. Thought we had the opportunity about 4 or 5 times in the first 5 laps of this race. Saw drivers going off track. That of Mike Lynch going to be the first one of those. And we saw that of Andrew Medlin going off track, getting into the wall, kind of getting a lot of damage on some of our favorites of Kyle Bowling, as well as that of Scott Rickard. And with both, with Scott, one of our favorites to watch out for to possibly win here tonight, heavily damaged the 0-5 all the way back in 24th position, kind of taking him out of a factor of winning here tonight. But it certainly gives an opportunity with, Kyle McCoy still up front, as well as Cameron Sargent right on his tailpipes. These drivers up front, they still are racing as hard as they can be. And with no surprise, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we start to see drivers potentially, being up front, having a shot as into pit road. Kind of a surprise to me. We're seeing Travis Butt into pit road for himself, but we could see a first-time winner this season, Zach, and it's just giving it a complete wide-open shot with there being no Ken Campbell and our other previous winners having issues.
No, definitely. It could definitely be a new winner for sure. Kyle McCoy's going to have to be the one that they have to get around for sure if they want to get that position. But Travis Butt there making a pit 41 there, Sam. That kind of threw me off there as now watching Aaron Hill try to battle his way back to that 4th position as he dropped back. Now he's side by side with the driver we're about to go on to driver cam with, and that is Chris Hester in the 10, who's worked his way up 2 spots there to 5th. Now going to give up that 1 position to Aaron Hill there, here back to 5th position now in that 10 machine. But another good run for Chris Hester, man. He continues to show great consistency throughout this series.
The big thing for Chris Hester. I mean, we look back to last season, came in, had a lot of fans coming in and watching, cheering on Chris, but just the finishes weren't there for this 10 machine. Comes into the, running the Gen 6 Cup car and really has given himself a birthing of having a great run and just that consistency. Started off the season with 2 pole positions at Daytona and Michigan, and ever since then has just been a top 10 car to look out for every single race, with periodic top 5s here or there.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. He's shown a lot of growth this season. That's really what I would say. You know, we worried at person at the beginning of the season. It was like, man, he could qualify well, but can he hold his spot? Then really at Sonoma is where he started to shine. It really started to turn around a season for him. He got that first top 3 finish, and he really showed that pace in that 10 machine, and showed that he's going to be a threat all the way down to the end of this thing, man. There's so many great drivers here that it's going to be a tough playoffs, and we're only 10 races away. That's crazy to say, but 10 races we'll be heading off into the playoffs here at the start of the Stripes League. And man, I'm telling you what, that is just going to be so close, and I can't wait. I love playoffs.
Playoffs were incredible last season. We saw, Kyle McCoy didn't have the strongest start last season and then just flipped a switch right when the playoffs were there and won himself. I believe it was 4 out of the 5 playoff races. It was an incredible stat line we saw from Kyle McCoy, who currently is your winner. He's currently your leader, here at Chicagoland. But pit road is extremely busy. Lots of drivers coming to the pit road. We've already seen a handful of drivers coming in, of that of Dylan Grimm, Nate Lynch, Timmy McNally, Travis Butt. But now into pit road getting service is going to be that of Jackson, that of Trey Jackson, John Dart, as well as that of Derek Offerman and Mike Lynch, all coming into pit road. And from up front, our leader, Kyle McCoy, hitting pit road with Sartin as well.
Yeah, leaders hitting pit road, and mistake for Kyle McCoy, slides through his box, has to back up. That's going to give up the lead for that 7 machine and give up the position to that 13 of Cameron Sartin. But I tell you what, they almost had a mistake there coming down. Oh no, Sam.
Want to make contact, going to be up front. That of Chris Essery and Grattan. Miscommunication. Grattan slowing down in the middle of 3 and 4, while Essery was not aware of that in the 10. Giving a little bit of a bump to the 46. Luckily, no one spun out, but you got to be concerned of any damage for the front nose of the 10.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to be good. He does not want to see damage on the nose. And from what I'm looking at, somehow it seems he did not get any damage from that. He looks like he just got slowed up just enough to, if anything, just leave a scratch on it. So great job by Chris Essery as he continues to stay out. It looks like he's going to try to stretch the fuel. Sam here is, we were kind of expecting around 50 laps is what they'll possibly be able to do here on a tank. We'll see here if Chris Essery can stretch it any farther.
I think the longest they can go is around 55 laps. Might be the distance that they can try to stretch it as long as they want. But for some of these drivers, you might not want to stretch it that far on fuel, knowing that you still got one more pit stop to go. But for some that might feel like, hey, I really don't have an opportunity to win this race unless I throw strategy out there, as we see Chris Essery hard on the brakes, and in front of him, got to be careful. That's going to be Travis Dart that gets close to the inside. Well, I don't know if he brushed it, but certainly very close. Was the 209, was already got himself some side left damage earlier in the race. Got to be concerned for that. But for drivers further back, like a Kyle Bowling, like George Kovacic, that are pretty far out from our leader, they might need to use these strategies. Stay out. Hope bank on a caution to trap a lot of these other drivers a lap down.
No, for sure. That's what we see in Kentucky. It happens usually around our, green flag pit stop sequences when we see cautions happen. It could be the time for that strategy to come into factor and really play out here, Sam. We've seen it multiple times here, especially Stars and Stripes, during these phases of the races when the strategy and the cautions usually tend to come out. And man, it really changes these races up. But it's definitely been wild seeing the different strategies, different attacking modes of guys get the pit road. Seen some guys be very aggressive, seen some guys not be very aggressive getting on the pit road, and have some close calls too. As we seen on pit road there, right on board Chris Essery a moment ago with Travis Dart. Both those drivers loosened the rear end and Dart left there at the entry of pit road. And that's something I see with about 10 plus other cars. So definitely a very sketchy entry to pit road here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the board on where drivers are at. You see Kyle McCoy, currently one of the front runners of those that have already pitted, trying to get by that of Travis Butt before he becomes what would be our leader after the pit cycle. But Zach, I want you to go back and check on this. Something had to go wrong for that of Cameron Sartin, because he had a much slower start than Kyle McCoy, and we thought Sartin was going to be taking the lead but he is not. He's back to 8th place, trying to run down Kyle McCoy. Issues for that of the 13 on pit road, and we thought he should have been and could have been our leader after this pit cycle as more drivers coming to the pit road. Kyle Bolling's coming in, getting his service done, but still Christopher Wade, the only driver that is still out on track, but now making his showing into pit road, slowing down. Drivers got to make sure they don't get caught speeding. We've already had 2 be caught, that of John Dart and Max Ward. As we head back over to you, Zach.
Well, I'll tell you, Sam, I found exactly what happened to Cameron Sargent. I was bringing it up, that Kyle McCoy, oh no, he slides to the box. That should give the lead right to Cameron Sargent. Well, I didn't notice right behind him, Cameron Sargent slid in. Not only did he slide in too far, he slid in too far left. And from there, he proceeded to back up. And even when he backed up, he was good inside the box, but too far for the jack man to be able to jack the car up. He has to back up one more time, completely out of the box, to almost get it back straight. And he is not even changing tires till the 7 car, Kyle McCoy, is dropping the jack to almost leave. So right there, about 10 to 8 seconds lost on pit road for that 13 machine, and he's gonna have to try to recover here if some type of caution will help him recover for that. But man, just a lot of time lost there, and was showing such great pace. He was right on top of Kyle McCoy, really being able to follow in the dirty air and showing that maybe if he got the lead at some point, he was going to be tough to contend with. But just shows you any mistake on pit road could come back to bite you.
Well, mistakes on pit road, but you also might have to be concerned about internet as we're watching this major pack that's going on. This is a battle around 7th to 8th position. But Kyle McCoy, who was leading up front, has just disconnected, it looks like, for a second. We're waiting for him to see if he can reconnect in, but he's been gone for over a lap. Travis Butt is our leader currently, and he is stabbing a lead by over a second of Timmy McNally, who's running down the 00. But this is a worst-case scenario for the 7, who saw his competitor have issues, our front 2, before green flag pit stops. Now, in major issues for both of them, for the 7, it might not be recoverable.
And that's it. He's gone. Yeah, man. It's that right there has really changed the whole game for Kyle McCoy. He is out of this race. He will possibly try to get back in here, maybe, but he's gonna be so many laps down by the time he gets back in here due to the green flag. Continuing on, this race just got turned upside down, and his teammate Travis Butt, though, leading the way as this is all looked to cycle through.
Well, I threw it out there. There was a high possibility of seeing a first-time winner this season. Ken Campbell, not here. Scott Rickard was caught up in an issue where he's got heavily damaged just trying to run out this race. And now our only other winner this season, Kyle McCoy, disconnected. Zach, it is up for grabs. Who's going to get a win and lock themselves potentially into the playoffs?
Yeah, this is turned everything upside down. Right now, it is open the door for one of these drivers to go out here and just grab this victory, man. This is going to be so crazy to see how it all plays out. Right now, Travis Butt is the leader, but I will tell you this, that Timmy McNally right here is coming from behind. He is a good bit quicker, and this 88 machine pitted later than that 00. Along with Aaron Hill, he's quickly closing that gap down, and same with Jason Gratton. Then about 7 seconds back from this lead, it'd be Cameron Sargent, who was one of our top 2 contenders there when he hit pit road. And it looks like Kyle McCoy has just got back in. He's going to take a little bit to get in his car, but he's already almost 5 laps down. By the time he gets on track, Sam, I'm imagining he may be 8 laps down.
7 to 8 laps down is the window we're expecting when the 7 finally gets into his car. And we'll see if he even wants to run at this point, as he is back in 26th position currently as we watch the battle for the lead. Timmy McNally has gone to the back bumper of the 00. Travis Butt coming into tonight. Travis Butt has slowly been chipping away. Had a very poor first 3 races of the season that put him back 28th in points. He's now up to 24th in points, but that is not enough for the 00 to make it into the playoffs. He might be in a must-win scenario unless we start to see more drivers just not show up this season. But right now, Timmy McNally, another one of those drivers that's been needing a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a help, as Timmy McNally 13th in points. Would love to see a win to get himself locked in as he's trying to figure out how to get by the 00, as you see, but he's running just the groove higher, but kind of 3/4 of a groove higher, not giving enough space for the 88, to have enough space to really throw it down into the inside.
Yeah, Travis Bowe's running a great line here. The defensive line taking the bottom away from the 88, who's been quicker, able to drive up to him. But, when you get this close, that pace of it starts to drop away. These tires will start to even out. And Travis Butt, he's going for this super aggressive strategy. He pitted there at lap 41. We're already 20 laps into this run. So, really probably expecting him to hit pit road. I'd say, really around lap 90. He's going probably really aggressive with this. He's going to have to stretch this one a little bit farther, but he's done a good job here to put himself in position. Like you said, Sam, he's been a driver that's clawing his way back up those standings. It was abysmal start for him, and it seems like everything that could have gone wrong has went wrong. I remember Pocono running second, got taken out at the very end. But, man, it could turn around here tonight, Chicagoland, as we're looking back here some battle.
And it absolutely could have. I mean, last week you could have said that Butt had a chance to win even at Kentucky. And here tonight, we'll see if he can hold on as you watch the pack. This has been the cluster of drivers that if we were going to see a caution, it might come from this group. And up front of leading this group is 8th place, that of Dylan Grimm. Then you've got Chris Essery, Brett Sommers, as well as Mike Lynch, Trey Jackson. Seeing these 5 drivers, they're keeping it close. They're racing extremely tough with one another. And then you've also got behind them the 25, Nate Lynch, and also the driver that's currently a lap down. That is Scott Rickard, that's just keeping himself in this group, able to get some repairs on that 05. But these, progressive banking here at Chicagoland, right there, great showing of all 3 lanes being utilized coming out of turn number 2.
You gotta love Chicagoland, man. It's it brings a tear to my eye knowing that we're not gonna be running here on a schedule in the Real Life Cup Series. So, just a great racetrack, and unfortunately, we have it here on iRacing. So if they do anything with it, we'll have it here for all time, and that's one of the great benefits of iRacing. We can preserve tracks like Chicagoland that have a special place in people's hearts that they can always remember. So, man, great to see this great racing action here. As you can see, the progressive banking just creates such good racing, and the fall off of the tires, it's really one of the top tier mile and a halves.
It really is, as, oh boy, Graham getting really tight, pushing up Summers almost into the outside wall. Got to be careful of that type of an entry. I do want to give note that of Kyle McCoy has logged back in, currently 7 laps down is the 7 machine. Before he got booted off from the server, he was our leader. Was going to become our leader based off where he was riding. And in a blink of an eye, now finds himself back in 26th. And even if we had a ton of cautions that came out, Zach, it doesn't look probable that the 7 would be back on the lead lap. Challenging to get back in race for a win here tonight is just salvage anything that you can get. And it's got to be frustrating. I've seen my other race drivers deal with this before. And this is kind of the virtual side of a real life incident of something breaking or having a penalty that comes out. It's when you get booted off the server and you have to reconnect back in.
Yeah, it's so deflating, especially it's one thing to have it happen to you that night that's going all right, but when everything is going well for someone like Kyle McCoy there, it just seems like it couldn't get any worse when you get a disconnect like that brings you out of the race. And man, he had to get back in here, and now he's just got to salvage. It's really just a salvage race here. He's hoping that really somebody gets involved in some type of incident that pushes them back a couple laps and he can gain a few positions, because he definitely doesn't want to drop too, does have that win, but doesn't want to drop too far down the point standing, so that win helps him out.
Well, with the fact that the 7 was disconnected now, yeah, you could see the major advantage of having over 14 lap pressure tires. As the 7 just is climbing his way through. Again, these are the drivers from 8th back to that of 14th. All just tackling as the 7 tries to carve his way through, finally dashes to the inside, and just showing how aggressive he can be with fresh tires. But as we watch the 7 carve his way through for us up at the booth, we're going to step aside for a quick second. We're going to go nonstop action here. On your right, you'll see the racing action continue on as we take a quick commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stars and Stripes Cup Series for race number 7 at Chicagoland. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is Zach Hall and Robert Moyer running productions and the graphics here tonight. Big thanks to everyone that's joining us here for Thursday night racing action, as a lot of dramas has hit here tonight. A lot of heavy favorites caught up in either wrecks that it did not bring out any yellows or have been disconnected. So major surprises here in the early going. Right now, it's Travis Butt, Timmy McNally, and Aaron Hill going to be your top 3. As you can see here, though, battling for 4th place, it's that of Christopher Wade, Jason Gratton, as well as seeing the 13, of Cameron starting to close in the gap, as it has been great racing up front. A lot of pack racing in the middle of this group. But Zach, I think the storyline has to be one of our heavy favorites, Kyle McCoy, with the disconnect, currently now 7 laps down when he was the leader when he came to pit road.
Yeah, man. Past winners, it's been a butt kicker of a race. No pun intended there. But yeah, it's just been one of those races where the winners is not going right for him. Kyle McCoy, just unfortunate luck. That can happen to any of us at any time. I mean, it's just like you said, it's a technical issue that just happens very randomly. And unfortunately, it was a night that he possibly was looking to pull off a win. But it's played out where now his teammate has got shifted into his hands at Travis Butt, and it's put some new players too. You got to have Timmy McNally. Aaron Hells drove his way up there. You brought it up earlier tonight, Sam, about him being a driver that that works his way away from the deep parts of the pack. We saw him up to 7th. Now he's worked his way up to 3rd, and he's closing down on Timmy McNally and Travis Butt, who McNally got there to Butt, but he stalled out. But we're near those pit stops too, man. There's so many different things that can play out here. A new winner, though, is for sure, and it's going to be a happy one, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Travis Butt with the strategy call of coming into pit road, the soonest of all the drivers that were in the top 10, really gave him this positioning of being up front and has been able to defend over Timmy McNally and Aaron Hill currently. And we'll see, does the 00 decide to stretch it out just a little bit further to make sure that he's good on fuel? Or do we see them go with a similar strategy? We're about 5 laps away from drivers expected to come into pit road to start at least pit road pit stops, about 15 laps away from them completing their pit stops here tonight. But a lot of different strategy calls can be made, and right now you're seeing Aaron Hale trying to go with a different strategy. Instead of running the same track and positioning of the drivers in front of them, why not run a groove higher? Try to find a little bit of that cleaner air. And that's what's been helping this for moving forward. But now he's caught up to kind of the stall out point where we haven't seen drivers be able to make the pass. A little bit of a defensive move there from Timmy McNally, just drifting up, blocking the 4. And here we go. It's a little bit of do-si-do. The 4's got to go low, go high. He's got to find a different space to try to get by Timmy McNally.
And Hell showing great maneuverability there. That car able to get to the inside here, getting in a little bit of side draft here down the front straightaway. Does not look like that's going to help, but yes, he does pull side by side. This is going to be his chance here. Sam drives it deep into the corner. Can he clear the 88 though? Yes, he does. On the exit, the 88 trying to close it out, but he does get it done. Now cross back over. Great racing, but it's let Travis Butt really drive away.
And the driver to watch out for, the 9, who is a lap down currently, Patrick Hasty, could be a drafting help to try to help the 88 move forward, but you're already starting to see the wear and tear that Timmy McNally had to put in to even catch up to Travis Butt. It's starting to log in, the 88 faltering as the 4 continues to move forward, and Butt puts another driver down and trying to get by that of the 33 of Brian Burchett. And Burchett's been doing a decent job this season, but a little bit of an off race for the 33. Deep falters back, but seeing the 88 blinking, he was doing that earlier this race. Thought it was cleaned up. Once again, get close to those pit stops, and he starts to blink once more. But Zach, been watching these drivers. You kind of threw it out there. We got some sponsors to thank on top of our commercials that we did. You said it, Butt Kicker. If you're trying to get yourself a little bit of more enhancement with your sim racing, or just watching videos in general, or any other video games, go get yourself a game or two from Butt Kicker. Is the 4. Gotta be careful of that outside wall. Gotta get close, and that's gonna be slightly frustrating trying to get by a lap down car, as the 4 able to make the pass cleanly, but now has to recoup to try to go after that of Travis Butt. But back to Butt Kicker. If you'd like to feel what you've been missing, go use the promo code FAST20 for 20% off. getting yourself a gamer to from butt kicker. But as we're watching the drivers up front, they are starting to close in, and Aaron Hale might be a driver to watch out for as we are closing in. Travis Butt's going to have to think about pit road here in the next handful of laps. Well, the rest of the field got themselves about 10 to 15 laps to think about when they want to come in.
Timmy McNally was the first one to decide to come down from that group hit pit road in the 88 machine. We'll see him elect to try almost what Travis Butt did here. Used a really early stop. It really worked for him. We'll see if it works for McNally, who was really starting to fall off there. He really decided it was time for him to come down as Hale was closing the gap down as we go try to start here running in that 7th position. He's about a second behind Chris Essery, so he's possibly still fighting for that top 6 there. It's still a good portion back from Sargent. As there you see, there's the 88 who has come off pit road. All those new tires get by there of McNally. We'll see how that strategy works for McNally here, Sam. It's worked for Butt, but Butt seems to have really good long run pace also here.
That's been the key, long run pace. How well can you continue to hold on? As right now, Travis Butt's going to be running 2 seconds slower than his best lap time that he put down here tonight. Trying to do his best. Aaron Hale running about a 10th faster, slowly chipping away at this lead. And as we see that of the 209 of Travis Dart, our pole sitter here tonight, running in 7th place. It's been great racing there, but we fall back to 8th place. This is where the pack I was talking about in the middle of the field, where they've been. It was at 1.7 cars, now just 4. Dylan Grimm, Trey Jackson, Mike Lynch, and also that of Brett Sommers racing close with one another. Again, this is from 8th back to 11th. This group of drivers that a couple of times here tonight, Zach, I thought we were going to see a yellow with how much of a dogfight these drivers have been just dashing back and forth at one another.
Yeah, that group is they're definitely dicing it up here in that 23 Grimm. You know, he was a Final Four contender. He's not had the greatest Cup Series season so far to start off. Trey Jackson continuing the Xfinity Series all year long. Mike Lynch had the big mower early in the race, and Brent Summers, one of our driver cam drivers, is looks like Lynch is going to hit pit road there, and the 2 machine back in the 10th position is that'll bring one driver out of that battle. But yeah, Grimm trying to hold on to that position there. Great work, job by him to work up from that 26th to 7th position. And oh man, another just unfortunate scenario. Looks like Kyle McCoy has again lost connection, so he's dropped out of the race once more again. Looks like Medlin possibly will be able to get around him this time also, Sam.
Yeah, and going to be able to possibly make this pass here, and what might be the end of Kyle McCoy's night as more drivers coming into pit road. Essery, Travis Dart, and as well, race leader at the time before coming into pit road, Travis Butt into pit road, and plenty of others following suit, as that of Grimm, as well as Brett Sommers, all coming in to get service done. And with no surprise, going to be trying to get as much service done. Cannot make a mistake, as this is most of these drivers' money stop. So you cannot slide through your box. Got to make sure you're clean in and out of this service. You see the 00, one of the faster stops of all the drivers here tonight. Travis Butt, a great launch for himself.
Travis Butt's definitely the one that played the most interesting strategy, I would say. That first portion there. We'll see how his strategy works out this time. The timing is everything, it seems like, for these style races, man, at the green flag pit stops. If you time it 1 to 2 laps short, 1 to 2 laps longer than you need, you just work yourself into a zone of when you catch somebody, you're evened out. If you don't, or you pit a little too early where your tires fall off too early and they just run you right back down, it seems like you never can get it right. But the driver that does get it right usually is the one that plays out with the lead. And Travis Butt did it that last time. We'll see. He's got to run Timmy McNally down, who is a good portion of the track ahead of him. We'll see if that evens out for him, though.
Yeah, right now, quick math, I think it's around that of 6 to 7 seconds is the major difference between Timmy McNally and Travis Butt. But the major difference, 7-lap pressure tires to the 00. And we've seen just having 2-lap pressure tires is massive in the later runs of this race. And we'll see how well will it translate moving forward. Still up front, waiting for some of our bigger drivers to come in. Jason Gratton hitting pit road, as well as Kyle Bowling is going to be coming in, as well as George Kovacic going to be getting service done. Still waiting on 4 other drivers, that of Aaron Hale, Christopher Wade, as well as seeing that of Patrick Hasty, and I believe also Brian Burchett need to be coming in pit road, and that of Brian Lynch need to come in and get service done for themselves. And Zach, I gotta say, 95 laps in, kind of a shocker to see us stay green for this long. But if we ever look at the patterns of these races for this series, when we get to 20 laps to go, it always seems to be seeing that yellow flag popping out of nowhere. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened here tonight, but at the same time, Chicagoland, well known for staying clean and green all the way through.
Yeah, that's this is the big question that we're asking ourselves right now. Does the caution come back out? That will really affect the strategy that these guys are playing because right now, Aaron Hill, he's playing the long game. This is an interesting strategy. I would think he would already hit pit road just due to the fact that we've seen Travis Butt. He really utilized that undercut. We've seen drivers like Christopher Wade, as we say this, Aaron Hill's going to hit pit road, so he decides now is the time here on lap 96 here to hit pit road and get service done on that Ford machine. Had such a great run there, ran up to our leader, Travis Butt. We'll see if he can run him back down, but yeah, again, like I was saying, that undercut seems so powerful. We see drivers like Christopher Wade stretch it the farthest. He went 54 laps on the first run. It really didn't seem to help Christopher Wade. He was almost 11 seconds behind Travis Butt at the start of the run. He only really got within 5 to 4 seconds of him there at the end. It really did not come back to him. So, in my opinion, you can wait too long, and we'll see if these guys elect to do it again. I think Aaron Hill might have waited a little bit too long. Even Christopher Wade's still staying out here.
I mean, Christopher Wade, last time he came into pit road, he stretched it out the longest of all the other drivers, so no surprise to see the 53 still out there on track. If anything, we might see Wade stay out here for another 10 laps before coming into pit road, just trying to maximize the amount of time to stay as our leader, and also the potential of a yellow coming out will be helping out the 53. But as we continue to stay green, all the strategies for these drivers, yes, you're trying to pick and choose when you come into pit road, but everyone out here at least has one extra set of tires. So if a late caution comes out, that strategy call is still going to be out there for these drivers. And if a yellow comes out, because this past stop was their money stop, most of the drivers should be good to make it to the end. I'm curious if we get a caution with, 20 to go, 15 to go, who comes in and who thinks just taking 2 tires, who thinks just 4 tires, what strategies could possibly be brewing here later on, as now it's all about the waiting game. Who's going to catch up to that of Timmy McNally, as right now Travis Butt going to be about 5 seconds back from the 88.
Yeah, that's going to be the battle there for that lead position when it all transitions through. But, this is, like you said, Wade took it the farthest last time. The thing about him is if he does do this again, we do get that caution. He's got 2 sets of tires left. We know he's coming to hit pit road. While the rest of the drivers, we got a lot trapped to lap down. First of all, that are going to have to take a wave. And then you're going to have drivers that are going to have to contemplate whether they want to take their last set of this race, So that really adds up the factor for him. So that's possibly what his strategy looks to be, is starts in there, goes around the 20 of Offerman.
Offerman going to be back in 19th position. A lap down currently is himself after coming into pit road. Sarton's going to be all the way up and to 4th place currently, and trying to have a great recovery. Again, Sarton was similar to that of seeing the drivers up front that were battling for the lead with Kyle McCoy, and they had such a dominating first 40 laps of this race. The 13 and the 7 gapped themselves by over 3 seconds over the rest of the field. For Sarton, he made the first mistake, sliding and making a poor pit stop, costing a lot of time for himself. And then it was Kyle McCoy who got caught up with connection issues, which he is trying to get reconnected in. Back in 27th place, 20 laps down, is Kyle McCoy. And another driver that seems to be having issues could be the 66 of John Dart, as we continue to watch the slight battling going on from 2 drivers that are a lap down. At 4th position, though, looking at some of the closest battling that's on track, it's really not too close. A lot of it is just drivers so spread out from all the different pit stop strategies. But Aaron Hale starting to close in on the 46 of Jason Bratton for that 5th place position.
Yeah, Aaron Hale in there, who was about the second to last to hit pit road, other than Christopher Wade still staying out here. He's he's going to be one of the faster cars on the racetrack right now, as he's running Grattan down this 46. Right now, about 3/10 quicker than Grattan, so only he's less than a second back. He should be able to get there pretty quickly, maybe make the pass here Then he's going to have Sargent up ahead, who's running almost a whole second slower in the 13, so he'll be able to quickly get to him also. And then Travis Butt, they're running about a second slower, but he's also about another 6 seconds up the road. We'll see if that pace can stay on those tires. As we know, it starts to even out at some point.
It certainly is going to even out once we get later on. And we've been watching these drivers for these last couple of weeks, mile-and-a-half racing, the much bigger tracks we've been to. You know, we're Daytona, Michigan, Atlanta, Sonoma, Pocono, that of Kentucky. Then here tonight, mile-and-a-half racing at Chicagoland. It's all been kind of bigger tracks that we've been to, bigger style type of racing. Zach, these next 3 races, though, we get to route racing. Short track racing is Hale on the outside line, gets a major run, and just like that, the 4 making the pass to crack back into the top 5. Again, that was 4th position. The next closest positioning battle would be back for 16th. We're seeing that of Mike Lynch and also Derek Offerman. Both a lap down, but this is for positioning and also a cluster of drivers racing around one another.
Yeah, still some great battles happening right here, but like you said, Sam, short tracks looming up ahead, Richmond, Phoenix, and Rockingham. I mean, each one of those tracks has a definite interesting take to it, so man, I can't wait for it. This season's been amazing. You know, you start off with Daytona, then you head off and you head back to Daytona, of course, after the Clash, but then you have Michigan, which is almost like a super speedway, Atlanta, the road course, Pocono, Kentucky, and Chicagoland. Now we hear our first short tracks already this far into the season. It's definitely going to add a good spice of see who's got, you know, the short tracks figured out. We haven't seen somebody drive with that package yet in the short track package. This season with this Gen 6 car, it'll be a pleasure to see who can take over, really, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I'm most excited about, because we've seen Cameron Sargent and a couple of other these rookie drivers, same for Jason Grattan, they've all looked quick at these larger tracks. How well and how adverse are they to move to the short track racing? How well are they going to be able to attack and, go after these other courses? And these short tracks that are coming up, they have been kind of my favorite tracks to watch during the last season when they were in the Xfinity car. I'm excited to see how well it's going to translate to the Cup machines, how aggressive drivers want to be. Do we want to see a lot of bump drafting? I mean, any bump and runs, going on with these drivers? Or are they going to be playing it nice, waiting for mistakes to happen? As continue to watch Aaron Hale, who's in 4th place, trying to get by Medlin, Offerman, and now the 4 closing in on the 13. That's another position. Aaron Hale just looking so calm, cool, and collective, but for the 4, he's about a little bit less than 4.5 seconds back from our leader currently. And based off the lap times that we're seeing from this 4, he's running pretty quick and slowly chipping away just fast enough to catch up to Timmy McNally.
I tell you what, Sam, he may have timed it right. Like I said, it's always interesting to see which driver times it right. He may have done it. Aaron Hale's chance is here. He's got to get around Sargent though very quickly. He cannot let this 13 hold him up, and he's caught him at about a 4/10 to 5/10 a lap quicker pace. He should be able to make this pass pretty easily. The next one's going to be the tough one there at Travis Butt. Then with Travis Butt, he's about 2/10 quicker than McNally. Oh, I tell you what, McNally may have played it pretty well too here as we continue to see the battle in there as Hale makes it past there pretty quickly. That's good for him. Now he's going to try to track Travis Butt down. Sam, this is going to be fun to see who's going to be able to pull this off. Can Aaron Hale break into victory lane? That would be a huge victory.
It's now turning into a waiting game. When will the 4 catch up? Does the 00 catch up to Timmy McNally, or does someone else even further back find the speed? We're going to take our final break of the evening. When we come back, we call it all the way to the end. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stars and Stripes Cup Series, race number 4 here at Chicagoland Speedway. My name is Sam Dyer, with me is Zach Hall, and we are closing in to the final. Just a handful of laps left here tonight. Zach, it has been all coming down to this moment. Timmy McNally came into pit road 37 laps ago, got a huge lead over 4 seconds over Travis Butt, and he's been able to hold on for now, but Travis Butt slowly starting to chip away. He's catching up to that Skittles machine, and don't look now, just about a little bit than a second and a half. You got Aaron Hale, Cameron Sarton, they're working together, trying to close into our front two.
Who's going to be the first time winner here tonight for this season? It's going to be one of this group of drivers up in the top 4. Sarton, he's about half a second back from Hale. Don't know if he'll have a chance unless something major happens here, but McNally trying to hold on to the save here with 10 to go. He's the driver that played the early pit stop strategy that Butt used to jump up to that top position. Now can Travis Butt, can he get through the dirty air? He's been able to close down. He's going to start to even get a little bit better draft, a little bit better toe off the 88 up ahead of him. But the closer he also gets, the more that front end is going to want to push out. He's going to have to fight here, doing a great job. The best thing for him, though, is Timmy McNally right in front of him. Has also got Steve Anderson, of the last car on the lead lap, who is running that bottom lane and really taking the air away from the 88. It's letting him close it down.
Let him close in, get the gap even closer, less than 10 laps to go, and really it's been the strategy call. Their first pit stop, it was Travis Butt who made the great move to get himself up front with an advantage. Now it's Timmy McNally who came into pit road ahead of everyone else, giving him an advantage. And if you're looking to get yourself an advantage, go to that Advanced Sim Racing, as they are one of the best places to go get yourself a sim chassis, as well as get yourself any type of sim retail, any purchases. It's basically the eBay hub to go find anything sim related. You can get yourself a wheel, monitor, or even just go find yourself a rig at Advanced Sim Racing. For 5% off, use that at Freaky Fast 5 as the drivers close in. Thank you to all the amazing sponsors, Butt Kicker, Advanced Sim Racing. But Zach, it's now time. They've closed in. They're coming to 8, now to 7 laps to go. Timmy McNally, he's got to find out how to defend and hold off Travis Butt. And the harder that they start to fight, the closer the 4 might be closing in as well.
Man, Steve Anderson's still right ahead of him there in that 99 machine. He's playing a big factor, I think. The draft is going to help the 88 on the straightaways. But here in the corners, that 99 right on the bottom, it's given what Travis Butt has behind him the same effect. And we did see Timmy McNally in the last part of the last run fall away. The tires started to really give up. He started to drop back. Now it's Travis Butt's time. He's closing it down. He's seen his teammate Kyle McCoy win this season. He's had a dismal season so far. He's trying to make his way into victory lane.
There's other lap cars also to watch out for. The 6 is Sidlow, now going to be side by side. And now McNally, got to be careful of that outside wall. Butt's now going to find a different place to go. When we saw Aaron Hale closing his way through, we saw the 4 using the outside lane, but it's Butt now finally on the back bumper of the 88, and also lap traffic. Where are they going to go? The 88 dives low. The 00 has to follow suit. This is costing an opportunity for that of Travis Butt to make a pass as the 6 continues to linger, but there's the opportunity. Staying side by side next to the corner, now going to be on the quarter panel. Here comes Travis Butt. Ducking it high, might go low, instead stays high, goes with the clean air, and now side by side through 1 and 2.
What a drive into the corner for the 00. He gets the run off the corner. Look at this. Travis Butt to the lead here with 5 to go. McNally with a side draft, though, trying to get back here in turn 3. He goes to the bottom. It's going to be side by side through 3. It's a dead even heat with the run off the corner. Going to go to the Butt.
Like I said, though, if they continue to race like this, it's going to give an opportunity to Aaron Hale. But Butt makes the pass cleanly and able to make the pass, and now has to figure out, does he get by the lap traffic ahead or just let them linger and just use dirty air to hold off the 88? The major difference here, Zach, it is 6 laps difference of tires between the 00 and the 88. Our front 2, as they're swarmed around lap traffic, that also could be a factor. Could we see lap traffic get in contact and potentially wipe out our front 2?
Yeah, it's major traffic. You got Nate Lynch, you got Steve Anderson, all these drivers right in front of the leader with 3 laps to go. You got to think these leaders are wanting to get around them pretty quickly. Here goes Travis Butt 3 wide to the bottom with the lap cars.
able to be, you have to be aggressive at this point. Travis Butt, he sees on his telemetry the 88's closing in, and as well, the 4 is, as they're going to be side by side. Here comes the draft. Here comes that of Timmy McNally, thinking about forcing it 3 wide, and he will get to the quarter panel, going all the way down low. 3 wide into 2. He drifts up, makes contact. Oh, no, but contact spun again. Again, the 00 gets spun. Here comes the 4th Hale, and the contact with the 99. Oh my goodness, Zach, in a blink of an eye, our front 4 all have made contact, and it's Timmy McNally that survived and now is pulling away.
Oh, with 2 to go, McNally's got a big gap here. But I tell you what, Travis Butt probably not going to be the happiest about that move. I don't know if he'll have time to get back to him. McNally may have done it here as Butt is held on. Hale has now dropped back to 3rd with the contact with Steve Anderson. Everything has gone wrong here, 3 to go.
An absolute aggressive dive bomb move. It didn't stick, but that Rubbin's racing at the end of the day. It's coming to our freaky fast white flag. Did not get that of the yellow coming out. And oh my goodness, cannot believe it. It's Timmy McNally in the 88 trying to get his first win. Came up shy so many times last season. Kind of a similar storyline to Andrew Medlin last week in Kentucky. But this go around, it's the 88 of Timmy McNally. After bumping the 00, spinning him off his nose, it doesn't matter. Out of turn number 4, victory lane calls for Skittles. It's Timmy McNally as they're wrecking behind between the lap cars. It's the 88 getting a berth to the playoffs.
Wow, man, what a way to win. Wow, we're definitely going to have some interesting talks after this race. As McNally, he saw the chance. He went 3 wide with the 00 and the lap car. He sends it into the corner, and you're going to see, I think, maybe some displeasure here with the 00 and the 88 here. And, yeah, that is exactly what I thought you were going to see. And, yeah, this is going to be some interesting post-race, Sam.
Shades of Indianapolis last season of a driver trying to take out the driver that won. There's going to be a lot of talking points about this, so we might not be able to watch the burnouts from Timmy McNally because of his internet issues that he's had all night, but you can see the frustration on the nose, and we'll see it. He's coming in. 00 contact going to be made, and frustration. Not going to let the 88 burn it down, and honestly, this is like you said, the second time this has happened to Travis Butt this season. And that win is going to be on the controversy list because there's rules in place. You cannot intentionally wreck somebody. That's exactly what we saw as the 00 continues to beat and bang and get his frustration out. Zach, we're going to step aside for a quick moment. When we come back, we talk to our top 3, Aaron Hale, Travis Butt, Timmy McNally, and we know for sure these results, they're going to be unofficial. We'll see if this win gets stripped or if it stays. The call is going to be made later on in the Stars and Stripes Discord, but oh boy, it is anger flaring here tonight. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stars and Stripes Cup Series post-race show of race number 7 at Chicagoland. And these interviews are about to get feisty. We just have a feeling of that after a dive bomb move by that of Tim McNally, wiping out the 00. It then gave the opportunity for the 88 of Tim McNally to get the victory done. But before we talk to those front two, we got to talk to the man who had a great view, almost a chance to win. We bring in Aaron Hale in the booth. Aaron, you got the best view of those late race contact. You almost came in to just steal away a victory. But man, from your point of view, how was those final 10 laps for yourself?
What a crazy race, man. You should hear it in the waiting room. They're fighting it out. Feelings are hurt. What a race, man. It's just craziness. I actually qualified to start well tonight. I don't remember where I started, 8th or something like that, and then I was able to work my way toward the front, and then I thought Kyle McCoy was gone, and then I don't know if he got a speeding penalty or he disconnected, or what had happened, but then I was second, third place car all night, and then I had to do something different there before I made my last pit stop, and I saw Travis made his pit stop, so I waited 5 or 6 laps before I came in, and I was catching them, but I just used up my tires and couldn't get there, but going through the grass there, man, I'm happy with third after that. It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Hey, Aaron, it's Zach up here in the booth, man. I tell you, it was a really wild race here tonight, and everything stayed green, so a lot of strategy came down to a big factor in this race here tonight. And green flag pit stops, the time of those were all over the place, man. You decided to stretch it a little bit farther than the two guys ahead of you there. What was the decision making? Like in the car here tonight, trying to decide when you wanted to pit exactly with the timing.
Well, originally I kind of just wanted to split it, in 3 parts, have a little shorter run at the end. But then, like I said, when Travis made his stop, I kind of had to try something different to try to get around him because I was second at the time, and then obviously get a point, some bonus points for leading a lap. But yeah, everybody's strategy was all across the board. There was cars coming, you didn't know if they had fresh tires or not, and slower cars. So yeah, it was. And then if you get caught behind some of those slower cars, sometimes you couldn't get by them. But I got very fortunate to be able to make efficient passes and get past them.
Well, Aaron, we've been seeing the larger tracks so far in these first 7 races, but we're heading into short track racing for the next 3 weeks. We've seen a lot of tempers flaring. You've been able to hear some of them. For yourself, though, are you feeling excited for this upcoming stretch of short track racing? Or are you feeling a little terrified with all the hurt feelings and tempers that are around the league currently?
Man, short tracks aren't necessarily my strong suit, but sometimes, depending on the day, it's just a survive, and you can get a good finish out of it if you don't end up wrecked. So I think that's probably the goal going into the short tracks, is just hang around and hope we're there at the end.
Well, Aaron, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, first I just want to thank my wife for letting me come down here and hang out with you guys every Thursday night. The rest of my family, the guys at Revolution Motorsports, Max was the only teammate I had tonight, but thanks to him for hanging out with me. And then, everybody in the league, it's a relatively clean group of guys. We're going to dice it up at the end, but it was a great group of guys to race with. And then you guys for putting on the broadcast. Great stuff.
That's going to be Aaron Hale in the 4 machine. Congratulations on a top 3 finish, and good luck next week.
Thanks.
As we get Aaron out of here, Cool Con Collective had a good time watching the show. Well, now it's time for the fireworks. See, we've been waiting for them. We're going to start things off with a 00 of Travis. But Travis, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. You had a great run. You were coming back after a strategy call for yourself, but then contact was made. Give us your thoughts there in those final 10 laps.
Well, I can promise you I'm not eating Skittles tomorrow. Let's just call it that. I'm not, that's just got in there. But, drove from 21st to 1st under green, which at a mile and a half track, to get ended like that. So, like I said, it is what it is. I'm not, I whined enough. I've been wrecked the last 4 of the 7 races this year. I've been taken out in the last 2 laps, running in the top 5. So, it's getting kind of old. So I guess I'll start standing my ground. People say whatever, but it gets screwed 4 out of the 7 races this year. So I guess it gets a little old.
Hey, Travis, it's Zach up here in the booth, man. Yeah, I can definitely Feel that, man. It's definitely been a tough season on your part, man, for the ending of these races, just not going on the right end of these incidences. Always seems like something, goes to take away the finish for you, man. But is it do you feel like it's a good sign that the last 3 races now you've been able to lead laps? That is come at least to you, and you think there's something you can bring heading into these short tracks we got heading up? Because man, you've definitely shown, the pace is there. It's just got to get through these incidents that just seem to be lingering for you.
That's what, McNally's going to argue whatever, but he says I take out people. But I was like, I'll show you 7 or 8 replays about other stuff. So, like I said, it's not something to worry about. Like I said, he'll be worrying about me every time I'm around him. So, like I said, I won't eat Skittles tomorrow. Probably won't eat them next weekend, the week after, and the week after that. I'm not an M&M's guy, but I might start being an M&M's guy. But, like I said, I've had speed. I don't qualify very well because I get in here about 10, 20 minutes before the thing starts. But I'm always a long run type of person, and it played in my hands. A green flag run. That's my kind of card. So, drive from 21st to first under green. Kyle would have won the race, or him and I would have battled really hard. I know he wouldn't direct me, but being a teammate, but him and I would have battled it out, and it sucks in that way. Like I said, 4 out of the 7 races, 4 out of the 7 races this year, top 5, and been taken out. So we'll take momentum to short track. Like I said, I'm there to win the next couple races, and it'll happen. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Travis, the next race going to be at Richmond, and then we got Phoenix, where you've won there previously. How are you feeling about these next couple of races for yourself? And also, people have certainly put a target on their back, and everyone's starting to get their ramped up and aggression out. With short tracks known for bringing out tempers for everybody, how are you thinking about the whole entire league as a whole coming into this 3-week stretch?
It is what it is. Like I said, I was my own business. And when I'm around those people, they'll know I'm there. Like I said, might not hit them. I might hit them. I might hit them in the wall. I'll race them clean. I have one coming to a couple people. They'll be scared when I'm around. So we'll just take momentum. I guess the second place finish is better than 32nd place finish. But like always, Kyle McCoy and Brian, thanks for always being a great teammate. They always help me out because I always show up late. They always do practice before, and I always reap the benefits. So we'll get to Richmond and, Phoenix. I'm going to use a pretty good at Richmond. I mean, I've won there last time at Phoenix, but I wasn't the fastest car. I just had a good pit strategy. So we'll just keep going, and we'll make it into the final. We'll make it into the round of 12.
Well, Travis, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any other shout outs.
I'm going to shout out Timmy. Nolly, that was impressive driving there so deep like that. So good job on your part. Win's a win, I guess. That's what you told me. So, like I said, my teammates, as always, the sports commute, man, they support the heck out of me. So, they've bought all my stuff and, bought a lot of my stuff so I can race and, get ticked off. So, I guess it's virtually. So, but it's passionate. It's something that I care about and, like doing and like impressing people. So, we'll keep going. And like I said, thanks to Erica. I think she's watching. She's probably threw something at the screen already, ticked off. So we'll keep going. Thanks to you guys always doing stuff. You guys always do great. So appreciate it.
It's going to be Travis Butt in the 00 getting a second place finish here tonight. And good luck, Travis, going into these next 3 weeks.
Always.
And now we bring in is going to be our winner, but shrouded in controversy. We'll see if he's any penalties go. But we bring in Timmy McNally, who went with the dive bomb move. And Timmy, it didn't stick, but as always, racing in stock cars, Robbins Racing, wiping out the 00, but you get the victory at the end of the day.
Yeah, we had a good strategy tonight, pit stop wise, and second run when I came out behind him, I just couldn't pass him even though I had fresher tires. So came down early, threw some tires on it a couple laps before him, and just thought I could hold him off. And he got by me with like a couple to go. Obviously, the end is all the drama, but didn't want to win that way. Hard racing. I saw my chance whenever this lap cars got in the way. Took them 3 wide for a second down that backstretch. So went in, maybe a little bit too hot. I was trying to use him up. I was trying to creep up the track and use all the track that I could. That was my only chance. Made a little bit of contact. It is what it is. Hard racing. I obviously didn't want to win that way, but no going back now.
Hey, Timmy, it's Zach up here that we've been. Congrats on the win, buddy. Well, man, you win here at Chicagoland after last week getting a 6th place finish at Kentucky. It seems like a good turnaround for you after 2 weeks of bad luck there at Michigan and Pocono. Not the greatest finishes there for you, man. Now we head off into some short tracks. Feel like you can carry this momentum into the next couple weeks, and how was what made these mile and a halves really seem to work out for you, man?
Yeah, normally these are the tracks that I race well at. I've won a few times at Chicagoland before, so the mile and a halves fit me. I feel like I can save tires a little bit better than most people. This A car is tough, man. It's all about momentum, and usually it's a freight train and it's hard to pass. So you got a slide job and try to get past people that way. So it's a style I'm not really used to. But the short tracks are a whole different story here. We'll see how we do. I prefer the mile and a half better than the short tracks.
Yeah, I mean, Timmy, we've seen penalties been given out throughout this season of drivers making wrecks later on in races. Are you concerned? You got the win. You got now your win and you're in berth going into the playoffs. But are you concerned that you're going to possibly be missing out on next week's race?
I'll let Randy and whoever makes those decisions make those decisions. Nothing I can do. Again, nothing intentional. Never would wreck someone intentional. I think every people in this league would speak for me on that behalf. I'm a clean racer. Got into them. We'll let them make the decision. It is what it is.
Well, Timmy, before we let you go, and hopefully we see you racing next week, but before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Shout out to the team, Iowa Motorsports. That's about it. Thanks for putting on these races, guys. Appreciate it.
That's going to be Timmy McNally in the 88. It couldn't get the win last season, but gets it done here in season 4. Congratulations on getting to victory lane. Timmy McNally, again, your winner here tonight. Congratulations on that, and good luck next week. Well, Zach, gotta say, this season, it's just as much fireworks display as last season. There was a lot of hard racing there, but I gotta say, season 4, with these current Gen Cup cars, I think we've been seeing a lot more bumping going on, where drivers getting moved out of the way here late in races, and it was seemed pretty calm for most of the season when we were doing season 3. But here for season 4, everything's just been ramping up a lot more, the aggression level, and I think it's because we've been waiting for these upcoming 3 weeks. Short track racing, where all that we just saw on track for these last couple of weeks, it's going to be laid out of someone being taken out or some real, feelings being hurt coming up.
Yeah, I think they say you got to vent your frustrations. Well, these next 3 weeks, there's gonna be a lot of venting of frustrations, and that's an interesting way they've scheduled it, man. Now it's coming to this point, and I tell you what, there's definitely gonna be some bent fenders and hurt feelings out there for sure. So we're just gonna have to pay attention these next couple weeks. But a great way to set it up here, leaving Chicagoland like this.
Chicagoland is certainly a wild one, and I gotta say, for the results that are going to be coming up, I gotta say it's gotta be unofficial again, because we do not know if there's going to be penalties given out. If to McNally's win, again, that's going to have an asterisk because of taking out the 00 there late. We've seen other drivers be penalized. We'll see if it continues on coming into this race or not, but your top 10 going to be that of Timmy McNally, Travis Butt, Aaron Hale, Cameron Sarton, Jason Gratton, as well as Christopher Wade. Going to be your top 6, with that of Chris Essery, Brett Sommers, Dylan Grimm, and your pole sitter Travis Dark going to be finishing out the top 10. Look at some of the other drivers. Kyle Bowling, great recovery for the 44. George Kovacic, 13th place here tonight. One of his better finishes of the season. And then you look even further down, a lot of disappointment here. You find in 22nd place, 22nd, yes, that is the 05, excuse me, of Scott Rickard, as well as finding Andrew Medlin, and also that of Kyle McCoy. That far down on the list, Zach. Surprising to see where some of our heavy hitters, top drivers throughout most of the season, where they finished out here late, but for most of those drivers, they've already gotten a win, so they know they're secure. It's all about getting those points for some of the drivers that finished up front.
That it is, Sam. It's been a wild night, nonetheless, to say. So we got a new winner here in Timmy McNally. Like I said, it's unofficial, so I'll have to see if anything plays out there. And then Travis Butt, great run for him tonight, showing that the pace he had in the Xfinity Series, it's there still. The long run pace there, we've seen it the past 3 weeks. Now, just got to stay out of this distance for him. But man, those winners, it just seemed to go really downhill for them tonight. Kyle McCoy had a great race, just had technical difficulties on his side. Scott Rickard, of course, involved in an incident. No Ken Campbell here at the track tonight. But they were the short tracks lined up. We got here, Sam, now a great list of short tracks too, those three. It's going to be a bumpy 3 weeks, I'd say.
I'm just excited for how Richmond's going to go. Coming up, then Phoenix, then Rockingham. Rockingham's going to be the most difficult of the short tracks. Well, the drama certainly is going to be there. Well, I got to say, for everyone that joined us here tonight, it was green all the way through. We weren't sure if we were going to see that here tonight coming into the night, but it certainly impressed us all. But it didn't come without a bunch of scraps and bruises all around. And Timmy McNally in the 88 gets the victory. Well, for Zach and for myself, Sam Dyer, thanks for joining us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but broadcast isn't done just yet because there's one more man that needs to talk. We throw it over to our producer, Robert Moyer, for the final calls.
Ooh, oh, wow. What a race, guys. What a race. Well, man, congratulations to Timmy if it holds up. I mean, it's going to be up to the admins, like you said. This place never lets us down here. Yeah, we might have went green flag, but there's always some kind of controversy going on here at Stars and Stripes in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. So don't take it, that way, ladies and gentlemen. But we do much appreciate everybody out there tuning in here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And hopefully everybody enjoyed tonight's show here at Chicagoland on iRacing side. Wow. Well, like you said, we're off to some short track racing here next week with these guys at 9:20 as we head off to Richmond, and we'll see what happens. We heard it in the interviews, everybody. It's heated up now, and there is no whole bar going to be going on here for the next couple weeks, and admins are going to have some fun times trying to keep this all tamed, and hopefully it doesn't blow up too big. But, that's storylines for us, so make sure you post this out on the social media of your platform, share it for us, and let everybody know what the heated battles are going on. And last but not least, I want to say good job to everybody, though, but good job to Aaron there. I mean, that guy's been slowly but surely being quiet, coming up through the field, doing what he needs to do. So congratulations to him. He's been looking very, very well out there. So let's see if he can keep the momentum going. He did say that he's not a big fan of short track racing. But he just plug it away like you have been there, Aaron, and you're gonna make it into the playoffs here. And I see a win coming here in the very future for that guy there. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, our next televised broadcast will be Saturday night with NISCC Cup Series, as we'll have Terry and Sam Dyer calling all the action Saturday night. So make sure you tune at 8:50 to see that action, as we'll see Zach Hall that commentated here tonight. He'll be out there running around with them guys and the rest of the crew, I do believe. And also, before we do sign off here, we did have, our 6-hour event for the Daytona, for our diabetes 6 hours. So make sure you go back and watch that. But where I'm getting at with that, ladies and gentlemen, is tomorrow night and this weekend, we got the 24 hours of Daytona coming for iRacing. So make sure you go support your live streamers and watch them on their stream for their 24 hours as they got their team going on, and wish them the best of luck. And here at Freaky Fast, we want to wish our proud partner and helper category 5. Hopefully they have a great event this weekend, as we'll have Zach Hall, Cedric Hunter, Brian Johnson, and all them guys out there running 24 hours, and Brandon Cawley. So wish you guys the best of luck. But with that being said, I'm going to stop rambling on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will catch you Saturday night. Have a great, safe Friday, and we'll see you Saturday. But until then, we want to say here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as always, God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.